Welcome back once again, family, right here. Today we're going to be exploring graphics card nightmares. And we're going to be going to Amazon and we're going to be looking at the high, medium, and low prices that they have there, as well as going to Newegg and see what they have kind of cooking. So, and also too with Micro Center, we're going to take a look there. I know there's a lot of people that are skeptical about buying graphics cards right now, but if you are in the market for a graphics card, then this will be the video for you. But if you're not in the market right now for a graphics card, then this will be the entertaining moment for you. But if you're just first time learning to build, it's best to know what you're going to be up against when it comes to picking your parts, graphics cards at least, because there's a lot of news going on right now about it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into the video. So don't go anywhere and stick around. Alrighty, now we're on the action screen. Let's go ahead and pull up some Amazon and see what's cooking. I already got it set for you right there. Let's see what they got cooking today. Oh, the RX 580 8GB. They had it for $95 last week, and now they got it up to $105. So it looks like graphics card prices are going up, especially on, these third-party cards. So, always remember if you buy a third-party card, it's going to be coming from China, and they kind of doctored it up just for you. So that way, if you're really wondering, I wouldn't buy a third-party card. If it doesn't say Amazon, if it doesn't say Asus, it doesn't say Gigabyte, it doesn't say MSI, it doesn't say ASRock, to me, those are your four main ones, or AMD or NVIDIA themselves, I really wouldn't touch third-party cards. Unless there's a stocking issue or, pricing is really low for those cards, you have to watch when you buy those cards. You really have to watch. Because if you go to buy those cards and turn around, they got a mobile chip on them, then you're stuck with garbage. So I don't buy any graphics cards with mobile chips on them. That's just bad news waiting to happen because they got special drivers that you're going to need and stuff like that. It's just going to be a total shit show. So do watch out for third-party cards. MSI Gaming 3060, $289.99, $290. That's not too bad. It's an MSI graphics card, so it's not too bad. Gigabyte 3060, they got it for $4 more. Depends on if you want a 2-fan or you want 3 fans. If you want 3 fans, then you can go that route. But I'm sure there's cards out there that are least expensive when it comes to 3 fans compared to 2. I use a 2-fan card for mine because it does just as good and gets the same amount of performance as a 3-fan card. The temperature stays at about 62°C, so I really don't complain about it. $220 for a 6650 XT, and it's still the same price as last week. 4060 Ti 8GB for $389, same price as last week, didn't change. 4060 Aero OC 320, still around the same price as last week. 3060 8GB, they got it for $259. And going up to the one that was here, it's a little bit more pricey. So $259 is not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal at all for that card. But like I'm going to say, the 10 series, 20 series, and 30 series cards are going to go extinct sooner or later, because then you got your 40 and you got your 50. And when you get up to your 60 series cards, those 30 series cards are not going to be worth it. So stick with the trend if you're buying graphics cards gradually, or if you're buying them right away, then stick with the trend. You know, if you're buying them for souvenirs and stuff like that, that's up to you. 580 GTS 129. We're going to keep moving on down the road. 580, they got it for 99 bucks. And, you know, card like that, looking like that, that's telling me the ARGB on the card itself could be set ARGB, so you probably just got like rainbow colors and that's all you get. 3060. Amazon keeps pushing for the 3060s and they really ain't worth it. I mean, $413 and let's say $414 for the 4060 Ti OC. It's not going to be worth it, because I'm going to tell you what the nightmare is going to be. And after I get done to the end of the conclusion, when I get down to the conclusion part, I'm going to tell you what the real nightmare is going to be, and y'all better stay around for it and buckle your seats up, because you're really going to not want to buy a graphics card at this point. You're going to want to hold off and wait for a graphics card. And that's exciting news. That is really exciting news. Oop, my bad. But it's going to be really exciting news that you might want to take a gander at when it comes to that. And I know y'all have been hearing rumors circulating about it. And it's just, I couldn't believe it when I heard about this. It's just totally too much. $299 for X White. Ooh. 4060 TIOC. Asus Dual. I have an Asus Dual right here. It's a 4070 though. 1030 low profile. A card like this, you know, would be good for if you're just having a business computer or whatever and really like gaming, you know, and you got a low profile computer. Basically, you got one of those like ITX computers, you know, 64 bucks for 2 gigs, a 2 gig card. That's good for movies, you know, like Netflix and stuff like that. But I mean, I would struggle with the fact of a 2 gig card. You know, I really would. Because usually the norm right now, sitting stable, is 8 gigabytes. That seems to be the norm sitting right now. Stable is 8 gigabytes. Oh, this has got 6 gigabytes for $189. I don't like the card because it's a third-party seller card, and I don't like the colors. Sorry, the colors just don't pop with me. So, 4060 Eagle. I'm not too much of a fan of Gigabyte neither. SFX Merc 319 6800 XT for $479. I would kind of think about buying a 6800 XT because you can get a 7800 XT for probably $10 to $15 more. Okay, so if you can get a 7800 XT for $10 $15 more with better performance, I would go with the 7800 XT. Plus, it has RDNA 3 compared to the 6800 XT having RDNA 2, being close to the same price, and it's not worth it. So, alrighty, now we got through Amazon. Let's go over here to Newegg and see what's cooking. So, now, what does Newegg got rocking today? They got a 6800 core. They say core now for some reason. Instead of saying 6800 gaming graphics card, now they're saying core. I mean, what's the difference between a core and a 6800? I mean, they're just adding something on there to pop your eyeball to make you buy it. Refurbished K520, no way. 3060, $299, $300. $300 for that card. Okay. So it's got 12 gigabytes of GDR6. And yes, I'm popping my drink of the day. For that price, you're paying, not peeing, you're paying, let's see, for $300, you're buying one half of a RTX 4070. Which, if you break this card down, we're going to break this card down really quick, just to see, for $300. So for $300, let's say you want to keep the card 5 years. So you divide it by 5 for 5 years. Now, that's $60 for a year. But now we divide it by 365 days. That's every day that you have it for a year for the next 5 years. So now we're coming down to 0.01, probably close to about 2 cents a day. So you got your card for 2 cents a day every day for 365 days out of the year for $60 a year for 5 years gives you $300. Okay, so you figure in a 5 years time, $300 at 2 cents a day. That's not a bad deal. Especially if it does okay gaming and you got 10% off promo code too. So that knocks another $10 off of it. So, not a bad deal. $289. If that's what I take about right with that promo code, $289. Lowest price, which they are right. So moving on, we got a 7900 XTX. Limited time offer ends 5/05, which in a couple days. So, ASRock 7800 XT, $479.99, $480. Now, do you remember I told you about, what was it? The 6800 XT being at the same price. And look at right there. It's showing its true colors. And that's why I keep telling everybody, if you're going to buy last gen, just save your money. Go to the next gen. If you want to buy a graphics card right away, then yeah, I would buy a 40 series over a 30 series any day. The reason is because it's better performance, same price, and, you know, why cut yourself out of performance when, you know, you get a better price? So look at it that way. I mean, why cut yourself out of performance just because somebody suggests to you and says, oh, you know, well, if you get a last gen card, you'll have a better deal. That's wrong. Whoever tells you that, that is wrong. Because you're losing out on performance. You're losing out on extra features. You know, you're losing out on a lot of things. Do you really think AMD is going to actually put better features on a last gen card? They'll lose money. They know this. They put out there they were going to do it, but they're not going to give you everything. So don't think you're going to get everything with the last gen card compared to the 7000 series. See, if you get a 6000 series card, you get what you pay for. Truthfully, you get what you pay for. You know, if you look at the 7800 XT, which I have, and it's being tested every day, the 7800 XT. And they tell me every day what's going on with it and how well it's performing and how well it's underperforming and everything else. So far, I have not heard no complaints, and the performance is right up there with the 4070. So, and those I consider mid-range cards for their price. But if you're going to go buy a card that's not worth of value, you know, like a last gen card. And I'm not saying they're not a value, but to me, a value means that they're the best of the best right now that's on the market. And they're the ones with all the cards and whistles and all the do's and everything else. You don't want to go with a card that has a lot of don'ts. That means you don't get RDNA 3, you got RDNA 2 on last gen. When it comes to AMD, you got your do's and your don'ts. Now, the only way they're going to make RDNA 3 on last gen is this, that it's going to be open source, which you don't know who's making the drivers, the software, and everything else to make it RDNA 3. So you're at risk when you use AMD software now, is because it's all open source. It's because now they got people that are, you don't even know who's, I'm not knocking new creators. Understand this. I'm not knocking you. But when you got somebody out there that's a consumer that knows nothing about graphics cards, they just know how to turn a PC on and turn it off. And then you say, okay, well, here's some new drivers for you. Check them out. And turn around, they blue screen every 5 minutes, is because of the software that they got implemented into their PC. And now they can barely remove it because it turned into a malicious code virus. So it's common sense. I don't like using open source because of this reason. If it was more secured, then it's a different story, which it's not. So anybody can do anything to that software, put it out there, and say, here you go. And then you put it into your PC thinking it's the best thing in the world, and turn around, boom, your PC's done cooked. This is the reason why I stuck with NVIDIA, is because their driver software is secured. It's not open sourced. And that's what I respect about it. And plus it's top shelf. They never have problems with it. I'm not saying that all companies don't have any problem with their software, because some do. But some take more time and, feeling out their actual software for their products, and they actually, do the right thing. So far I've seen all these extra months and everything else with NVIDIA and their software, and I have not yet put in a whole new driver set, but I've updated. And let me explain this. When it comes to NVIDIA driver software, all I did was update it and update it and update it from the first time I bought the card to now. Everybody's saying, well, you're going to overload your system with all a bunch of crap and this and that. Not when it's sharing with your programs certain driver software, and you go to rip it out and then put in new, then basically, you're losing that leash that you had on that software. So basically, if the DLL gets overwritten by the new program that NVIDIA puts out, then it gets overwritten. It updates the software. It doesn't need to be, and I don't know why everybody thinks that you need fresh, new software, instead of just updating the software that's already on there. I really don't get it. I don't know why y'all spend your time trying to do updated on the software when it's not warranted. You're just ripping DLL drivers and stuff out of there that other programs are using. And now you're asking the programs to replace their own DLLs that you've already been using for a whole month. And, you know, it's just, it complicates things. When it comes to a computer program, it makes it more complicated. And when it becomes more complicated, it makes it harder for the program to use, and then you run into more stability issues. So save yourself from the stability issues and just update the software. Don't worry about taking DDU or, the NVIDIA software to rip out the old so you can put in brand new. Don't even waste your time with that. You'll wind up having more problems doing that than you would just to update it every new session that comes out. And you'll see the difference when it comes to stability, and it does not eat up hard drive space neither. Think about it. It's just, this has been a fashion that everybody's been doing for over, God, 35, 36 years. This is the same coup everybody's been doing ever since Windows 3.1. I mean, why? It's not warranted. You just don't spend your time wasting on stupid rumors that have been happening for years. When I started back in 1986, but in actuality, I started learning in 1983. So, and that's with a great technician. So, this will make you think about when you go to put your software in, is it protected enough to make it run right? Any little stability thing, and Windows is going to shut you down and blue screen you. So I have yet to see any blue screening on my PC. Not one time. I have not yet one time got blue screened. Not yet. I wonder why. I listen to other technicians out there. Oh, I'm getting blue screen because of this and that, and I can't figure out why. Well, let's move over to Micro Center and figure out why. Why, Micro Center, why? Okay, now we got 10 items that are available to ship from Micro Center. So these are the graphics cards that you can buy online from Micro Center. Just to let you know that. So let me move this down. Y'all don't need to see that extra crap. Alrighty. So these are the graphics cards. They got an RTX 4070 for $639, which that's way overpriced. 4060 $324, still a little bit overpriced. 4070 Super for $689. Still overpriced because it's supposed to be $599. You're just paying for the name, people. Do remember that. 6 GTX discontinued by NVIDIA, so I'm not even looking at this. 4070 Super $649, still a little too high. 7700 XT $459. $20 more, you can get a 7800 XT on Amazon. Moving on down the road, 3050 low profile, $189. If you want 6 gigabytes and you got low profile and you don't have extra, you got one of those pre-built systems for like Dell, Hewlett Packard and such that don't have the extra power connectors, then yeah, $190 is not a bad deal for 6 gigabytes of this card. Overclocked. So that's not a bad deal. 4070 Ti, XLR8s. I don't like the XLR8s. I got my own personal preferences. 4060 Ti, 8 gigabyte, 419, still pricey. 4060 Ti, overclocked, 8 gigabytes, 439, still a bit pricey. Still a bit pricey. Okay, now let's go and see what they have in the store. Looks like they got 315 graphics cards in the store. So let's start off with the 4090 Tough. Price is still high. And another 4090, $2,000. 4080 Super for $1,099. And you figure Micro Center has to make a little bit of money for in-store, so I can see them charging $100 more than MSRP. So yeah, that's not a bad deal if you want to get it right away at Micro Center. So that's not a bad deal. But this right here, $2,000 for a 4090, really, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare to me. MSI 4090, no, that's still too high. 4070 Ti Super, $849, $100 more. I'd say about $110 more. You can go get yourself a 4080 Super. I would, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I would go for the close to the top shelf, which would be your 4080 Super. 4090, 4080 Super. It depends on where you buy it from. Like right here, they got a gigabyte 4080 Super for $999. And this is $799. That's still not a bad deal neither. They're both 16 gigabytes of DDR6 PCIe 4.0. I mean, just use your mind. If you want to save a couple $100, then go with the 4070 Ti Super. And if you want to go for the gusto with the same amount of RAM and all the spectaculars, then go with your 4080 Super. So let's see if there's anything special here. 7900 XTX. That's not a bad price, but if you go over there to Amazon or Newegg, they got it for cheaper. 4070 Super, $649. That's, I mean, $599 would have been better if they would have come up with that price. 4080 Super, the Tough, Asus Tough, $999, so it's still at $1,000. But it's a 4080 Super, because the 4080 is $1,200 or $1,400, depending on where you buy it from. So 4070 Super, I mean, me, if I had $1,000, I would have gone for the gusto. That would have been me. But also, too, I wouldn't be buying such a high-priced card, and I would be waiting for the 50 series coming out. It's going to be showcased in, let's say this is May. Might be at the CES at my bad. Might be at CES in September, I think it was. I'm not sure. You guys can correct me in the comments below. So I think CES is coming in September. And I'm not sure if NVIDIA is going to be doing anything when it comes to that. They probably will, because I know AMD is going to be showcasing some things. So NVIDIA is probably going to be showcasing some stuff too. So we want to stick around for that. But if you can hold off, and I'm going to be dead honest with you guys right here, we're just going to move right down the road, because that's right there, the Asus NVIDIA overclock, right here, the Asus NVIDIA GeForce 4070 Dual, which is right here. That's this card right here. for $559, 560 bucks. This cost me $599 on retail market. But I didn't pay that. I got a discount, good discount with it. But retail market when I purchased this was $599. So 40 bucks cheaper than what I paid. That's not too bad. Not too bad. I don't complain about my Asus Dual RTX 4070 is because I love it to death. And I'm going to use it until it either 5 years comes up or it croaks, one or the other. So it's going to be in my system an awful long time until it, like I said, 5 years comes up or it croaks. So, and I can tell you when I first got the card, it was only 30 days old. The card was only 30 days old from manufacturing date. So that tells you I got a really good deal on mine. Closer you can get it to the manufacturing date, the better you're off, I think. Is because those cards, usually when you get a card, they sit on a shelf for about 6 months to 8 months to a year. But when you can get it down towards like a month or less from date of manufacturing, I think you get better silicon. I've always had that luck to where I get it like a month or less and the silicon comes out great. I don't know what it is after, the length of time. Probably that the dies that they're using, they kind of go off spec a little bit. So, it makes you think. When you first buy something, it makes you really think. The closer you get it to the manufacturing date, the better the product's going to be. If you've never heard about that, now you have. And I've always kept that peace of mind. The closer I can get it to the manufacturing date, I know how much better it's going to be. With less mistakes, too. So we're moving on and we're just rolling right through Micro Center, just looking to see what's going on. 7600 XT sold out. I've been seeing a lot of the 7600 XTs sold out. You can get your hands on them on Amazon or wherever, but I have seen a lot of them sold out. Don't know why. It's the same as the 7600. It's just one's got 8 more gigabytes of RAM more than the other one. Performance-wise, they're within 1% of each other. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys like this. This is the thumbnail I used for this video. I put the episode 78 in here, but this was a little bit of a masterpiece I was going for. So, and if you're wondering, if I'll move this up a little bit, there. Now you can see the full thing of it. Yeah, I did a little bit of a masterpiece to it, so. Shifting gears as we're winding down to the conclusion of what's going on today. And reflect on the journey of hunting for graphics cards. If they're nightmares or not. Across the different platforms of sales rooms. So, but I want to encourage you guys to be here for next week as well, and we're gonna try to do more, but also too we're gonna be doing the monthly pricing coming up probably we're gonna do it next week, so make sure you stick around for that video. Boom. And if you guys got any questions or concerns or anything like that, you can leave the comment down on this video, and let me know what you think. We'll try to keep it as real as we can, and we'll save all your questions for next week on Graphics Card Nightmares. And that way, we can, at the conclusion, we can talk about what your questions were and give you some answers to those questions, and stuff like that. But this is going to be my conclusion to it all. What I've seen this week on Amazon, Newegg, and Micro Center, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really don't see the prices pivoting much. Just a little bit, but not much. And we're getting closer to getting new graphics cards anyway. Oh, and I remember I was supposed to tell you guys about this. AMD is coming out with a new CPU processor chipset lineup for the 8000 series. And from what they're quoting, and this is just a leak right now, from what I'm hearing, and they're quoting that there's going to be an 8700F series, but there's going to be a different type from different type series that are going to be able to overtake the RTX 4070. This is what they're quoting. I know you guys heard some about it, but their integrated graphics are supposed to be running fast or faster than the RTX 4070 and the 4060 Ti and the 4060. So, from what I'm hearing, that integrated graphics are going to be the newfangled thing for AMD. So AMD is starting to step in the spotlight of integrated graphics. I'm glad that they are, because the price on integrated graphics are a lot cheaper than spending it on, for them to build a graphics card. Integrated graphics are going to be the newfangled thing. And plus, people have to understand, it saves you a lot of heat in your CPU case, your PC case. It saves you a lot of heat running integrated graphics. Everybody's thinking that you're going to be limited to what they have set for specifications. No. I know from using integrated graphics for many years. Yeah, they have set stock settings when it comes to their Adrenaline software. But they might be changing that too, to where you can overclock an iGPU. Now, if they do that, if AMD does that, you know how many people are going to be going for integrated graphics? Especially when it's a neural processing unit, an NPU. They're trying to evolve AI Explorer with AMD. They're going to do it with Snapdragon. AMD jumped on the ball, and they're going to be doing it with AMD. So they're going for the utmost processor that can handle handle really intense integrated graphics. I'm waiting to see what these new integrated graphics CPUs are going to be like. And if I get my hands on one for testing and put it with a decent motherboard and put it up against the RTX 4070, which I have right here, and I can put it up against it, but that's if I get my hands on it. It's going to be interesting. Just like, everything else, it's going to be an interesting time. But I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. Sooner or later, if these companies are going to recognize our channel right here. So, but hopefully they do, because we're getting up to, and this is another thing. So far, we got 412 subscribers. We're getting close to the 500 mark. So if you have watched this video for the first time, just subscribe. Get us to the 500 subscriber mark so we can work from there and go forward with this channel. I have a couple other channels as well that if everything goes well on this one, then I can start working on more and more of those channels and start building those as well. So you get different content on different channels at different times. So you're not stuck with just one channel and waiting for content. I'm trying to make it to where I'm working towards content on one, content on another, content on another. So that way you get 3 different steps of content. So you don't get bored with one. You can go to the next and go to the next. And, you know, I'm only going to stick with 3 channels. That's it. I mean, I am not going to go forward with having any more channels but 3. That's it. 3. Nothing else. Because then it's going to be coming to the point to where it's going to overwhelm me. And I'm not going to be able to get the content out to you all. And, you know, I got to think about that. That's the reason why if I do shorts on this channel, that's, you know, because I'm highlighting the actual videos. On my other channel, I'm just doing straight shorts. And then on my other channel, too, I'm trying to do the video gaming kind of thing. Your suggestions on, you know, how I do that right over there would be much appreciated. So that way I can set my course on what I want to do over there. If this is your first time here, subscribe, put a like on the video, would be appreciated, and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting the next video. Until the next time and the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next video.